Prem Namaste, Vanakkam, and welcome to another action-packed sadhana episode where we feed your spirits and tempt your taste buds. Yes, Tigam Nathu is back this week with an all-time favorite, and we celebrate God with the Brahma Kumaris in Phoenix. But first, we pay homage to the divinity enshrined at the Glencoe Hindu temple. The tiny town of Glencoe in northern Natal was formed after coal was discovered in nearby Dundee. It was coal too that brought the indentured Indians to the area as mine workers. The tiny but united Hindu community constructed a place of worship near the Burnside coal mines in the 1950s. The temple served as an important forum for religious and cultural expression and was later moved to Glencoe in 1969. Sadhana visited this quaint dorpi where the Glencoe Hindu temple still stands tall and proud.
It is almost unimaginable that the tranquil, picturesque beauty of northern KwaZulu-Natal was once the focal point of major battles between Zulu, Boer and British forces. Development brought the Indian indentured labourers, and today the dilapidated red brick buildings talk of an era long gone by. It was here, at the Burnside estate, that thousands of Indian labourers were brought to work in the coal mines.
Indian population in Burnside was, I can tell you this much, they used to call it second Durban. That's how the population was quite a bit. And the people lived in the barracks, they lived along the, in the farms. People lived in the barracks, they were very simple, dedicated to prayers. They did all the prayers that they could think. They lived in harmony with whether they were Hindus, Tamils, Muslims, all were there. And they lived happily.
They worked in the mine, coal mine, most of the people underground. My father worked in underground. My mother used to be a housewife, and they had farms selling vegetables, and they used to sell. That's how we were brought up.
Anybody who talks will talk about Burnside days. Those were the good old days, very fabulous days.
Filled with a sense of nostalgia, this small group of former residents returned back to their place of birth with a special pilgrimage to the original Glencoe Hindu temple. The strong building was constructed by their indentured forebearers who saw the need for places of worship even in a foreign land.
It was a small temple, but it was a brick-built temple in the middle of where the Indian community used to be. People were surrounded. The temple was in the middle.
There's a calling when you go, even if you pass the temple, there's a calling. You want to get out of the car and you want to run there. You want to see what's there.
It was just a stone structure. They had the Mariamman temple, that was a small temple, and then the main temple where they had the Muruga's murti as well. It was just a stone. So there was Kavadi prayers that was done there and the Mariamman prayer as well.
My father has molded a murti in this temple here. He did collect old newspapers. When he collected, we were quite young, and he used to collect newspapers, and he used to soak it, and he used to mold it. When he molded that, he used to stamp it and mold and made a murti.
Major Hindu festivals were celebrated in grand style at the temple. Thousands of devotees from the northern regions streamed into the temples during these festivals to offer their worship too.
A big festival, the Kavadi festival, used to take place at Burnside. There's a river nearby, and we used to have gathering of about 2,000 or 3,000 people from different towns. Newcastle, Danhouse, Glencoe, Ladysmith, Washbank, Omdry, quite a bit.
So I carried Kavadi. We used to come to walk from the mine to a river. It's about I'd say about 2 kilometers. And we used to go and carry Kavadis.
The unity, joy and love were short-lived after the local community was displaced following the closure of the mines. This saw members moving to different towns in search of new employment and homes, and, evidently, a new place of worship.
When the mines closed and we moved to Glencoe, there was no temple in Glencoe. That was in 65. There was no temple in Glencoe.
There was an old hospital. So there they made a small temple. So we carried on there, worshipping just as what the previous time they used to. After that, they moved to Glencoe. Then after that, they had to move back to Attinsburg. There was some people who gave us a little place that they can build. They just had a tin shanty, and they was worshipping there. After that, this came back to Glencoe, and today here stands the temple.
They had stones in Burnside, meaning that we had no murtis. And when they closed off the temple, they came with the Ganesha that's still here, and the remaining murtis were paper mache. But it was difficult to do abhishekam of paper mache. So as kids with the Tamil school, we raised funds by having shows, dances, and then we bought the first set of murtis. So we replaced all the murtis at that time.
We observe all the prayers, the Kavadi, then the Ramayan week, and Hanuman Jayanti, and then it comes to fire walking after that. And we also do Chitra Kavadi, but not in a big way. And then it's the Navaratri prayer. We observe that as well.
When we met Guru Krishnamurti, he explained the significance of the granite murtis. And we took a step forward and decided, okay, we'll have these murtis, we'll install these murtis in the temple. So we had a Kumbha Abhishekam on the 27th of January. And in this area, Glencoe Temple's the only temple that's got a Kumbha Kalasam now. The power passes through the Kumbha Kalasam through the dome to the murtis. So we're giving energy to the murtis. We are charging them, in other words.
Though split up, the heart of the Burnside Estate Hindu community still beat with a united pulse. Deeply rooted in the foundations laid by those before them, the current generation holds on proudly to their rich heritage and traditions.